Good morning. Well, I want to thank everyone who joined us last night for really a wonderful evening of fellowship and meeting new and old friends, and very importantly, honoring our three awardees for the National Competitiveness Award, Senator Schumer and Young for their leadership in the CHIPS Plus Science Act, and our Chair for Business Emeritus, Janet Foudy, for her leadership. I want to also again formally thank our sponsors for their generosity and support for the council and of course for this forum. Bank of America, Lockheed Martin, University of Pittsburgh are our premier sponsors. Ancora, our founder sponsor. Deloitte and Snap-on, our chairs. Arizona State University, our president sponsor. Our benefactors, Hevolution and HNTP, and our patrons, IBEW, Northeastern University, Southern Methodist University, and University of Georgia. Our 2023 forum is taking place at a critical time as our nation faces a myriad of complex challenges, and yes, opportunities, and they're all traversing the economic, social, and national security landscape in a rapidly transforming global economy. And of course, we're operating today and in the last few years, but especially today, in a multi-front disruptive geopolitical environment, from the ongoing war in Ukraine to the October 7th brutal Hamas attacks on Israel, to the increasing severity of the interconnected multiple forces of climate change impacting the entire globe, from food and water, health, economic insecurity, and of course, accelerating the urgent need to transition to clean, secure, and affordable energy sources for the world. Shortly, the Council's chair, Mr. Brian Moynihan, the CEO and chair of Bank of America, will share his insights and perspectives on the state of the U.S. and the global economy as we enter into 2024. As I highlighted last night, our meeting comes today at a critical juncture in navigating our nation's collective future, and the Council's accomplishments and policy agenda is responding to that reality. Let me briefly share the priorities, competitiveness themes, and the policy pillars framing our 2024 action agenda. First, as we all know, the critical role of partnerships is across the entire innovation ecosystem, and it's more important than ever as we advance research to technology development to commercialization at scale. As we work to build a competitive, skilled 21st century workforce, and as we enable and accelerate innovation across all regions of our nation, from coast to coast and across the country. Partnerships writ large are driving knowledge and research creation into application and use. New and expanded federal programs and support are driving the pre-competitive, commercially promising emerging technologies and workforce development. They're identifying the skills gap and inventing new modes and new ways to train our workforce from cradle to grave. From public-private partnerships to university-industry lab partnerships and global collaboration that is transcending state and international borders, partnerships are vital. Today, we will be talking about place-based innovation, and as one of our colleagues refers to it, as place-making innovation, and how we can build this imperative across and within America. Yes, we are dealing with the ever-increasing merger of digital and physical life and collaboration across geographies, and we know place is a fusion of that physical and digital combination that has enabled us to have remote work, get through the pandemic, and it's certainly changed how we work going forward. But we have challenges and opportunities as large cities continue to be a locus for innovation, but we need to embrace and include our rural populations and places and have the connectivity and participation of workers across the United States and ensure that they too have the opportunity to participate in what the Council refers to as the 10X innovation imperative. increase the number of innovators by tenfold, increase the number of innovations by tenfold, and increase the speed of innovation tenfold. So the new reality of place requires new policies, new strategies, new resource sharing programs, and new models of collaboration, such as the sharing of advanced computing facilities, which allow institutions across the country to access the powerful technology tools regardless of their location, and to ensure that economic vitality is growing everywhere in America. Given the reality of the strategic global landscape, as I have noted, the United States must build new partnerships to build strategic capabilities, strengthen our readiness and capacity against threat, include the very critical issues around supply chains, augmented by the power of AI, all of which have dual-use implications and require us to have a new technology statecraft, which the Council articulated in our groundbreaking report from the first stage of our National Commission on Innovation and Competitiveness Frontiers in our report, Competing in the Next Economy, the New Age of Innovation. The United States must collaborate more purposely with our allies and like-minded nations in these critical technologies reshaping the world, all of which have profound dual-use applications, and our allies have capabilities that will extend U.S. capability as well as we work together. The Council's policy agenda is at the heart of these challenges and opportunities. I've mentioned our flagship National Commission on Innovation and Competitiveness Frontiers that launched this past January. Its Phase 2 framing document, Competing in the Next Economy, Adapting to a Changing World. Allow me to thank National Commissioner and UC Davis Chancellor Gary May for hosting the Council community at Davis, bringing together a diverse and very excited, dynamic group of leaders, senior commissioners, as well as government officials, and we were pleased to have as a special guest the Chief Scientific Advisor of the United Kingdom. Our learnings from Davis set the stage for the Council's July Board, Executive Committee, and National Commissioners who met in Washington at the Gallup headquarters. I want to thank Jim and John Clifton for hosting us and providing some incredible real-time knowledge on what's going on in the global perceptions around thriving and workforce issues and what we need to compete. We had senior administration officials joining us from the Department of Treasury, Senator Mark Heinrich, the co-chair of the Senate AI Caucus, and Dr. Charles Tehan, the director of the White House National Quantum Coordination Office. I also was very honored that we signed an MOU with Deetra Trent, the executive director of the White House HBCU initiative, to expand and include in our partnerships leaders from historically Black colleges and universities, many of whom have joined the Council and are on the Commission. The Commission also launched 4 new working groups, and I will quickly tell you what they are because they become our pillars for the work going forward. 1 is the future of sustainability writ large. 2, the future of work in the workplace. 3, the future of deploying disruptive technologies at scale. And 4th, the future of place-based, place-making innovation. This morning, leaders of the Commission on the panel I will moderate will touch on many of these topics as we advance these 4 pillars. Our Technology Leadership and Strategy Initiative, known as TLSI, a long-standing initiative of the Council, met for the first time in person this March at Lockheed Martin's incredible Advanced Technology Center at Palo Alto, overlooking the whole valley. I can only imagine just what that real estate is worth today. We also met at Lawrence Liver National Laboratory in the fall, and we brought together a unique network of senior technology leaders from industry, academia, and our national labs. TLI's mission is very important: to develop the recommendations, the partnerships to keep the United States at the forefront of the technology innovations of the future and their utilization to our economic and national security. And I want to thank our co-chairs for their leadership. Steve Walker, the CTO of Lockheed Martin, Patricia Falcone, the Deputy Director of Lawrence Livermore Lab, and Sally Morton, the Executive Vice President of Arizona State University. And we look forward for TLSI convening at Arizona State University this February. The work of the Council's University Leadership Forum also moved from virtual to physical world. We gathered this fall to further our mission of advancing and understanding and ensuring that our nation understands the pivotal role of higher education, from knowledge creation to technology development and, yes, commercialization, to building a workforce of the future with lifelong learning and the capacity to thrive and prosper in a rapidly changing world. And very, very importantly, the role of higher education as an anchor to economic development in their states and regions. We also are addressing complex issues around research security, the balance between open access and ensuring security, and also encouraging the collaborations and partnerships at the heart of this agenda. Senator Tammy Baldwin joined us, and we look forward to 2024. And I want to thank the leadership of this initiative, co-chairs Jerry Moorhead and Mike Lovell, who unfortunately could not be with us today because of graduations. And the Council's longstanding work advocating for the private sector's use of advanced computing, supercomputing for competitive advantage not only has had a tremendous impact in ensuring that companies from large to small and medium enterprises adapted modeling and simulation to up and change their game, but we realize with the tremendous changes in the computing landscape, of course, and the emergence of powerful new tools from machine learning, adaptive AI to quantum platforms, that we needed to rebrand the initiative, and with a fun session, it is now called the Alliance for Transformational Computing. And we will continue to bring together experts from the computing sector, but very, very importantly, engage the end users of these tools to keep the United States at the forefront of the computing digital revolution and to find ways to expand access to advanced computing capabilities, as I mentioned, throughout all regions of our countries. The Council's agenda and 2023 accomplishments have laid the groundwork for an ambitious and important policy agenda for the Council in 2024. And most importantly, we will be developing through the Commission and our other initiatives a set of powerful integrated recommendations to present to the next president, administration, Congress, and state governments across the country. TLSI will be developing its report to ensure U.S. leadership of critical technologies for national and economic security, as well as powering the economy. The University Leadership Forum will pursue ways to link more closely education and competitiveness to strengthen the case that education means more than opportunity and prosperity, and that we need to think of education in the whole continuum of workforce skills and leadership from K through 12 through advanced research universities. And as I mentioned, the Alliance for Transformational Computing is going to work to keep America at the leading edge in the computing digital race and its application, but we'll also explore policies around ethics and access. Emerging from the Council's National Competitiveness Commission, we have taken, and I will talk about this in more detail, and I mentioned it last night, a very, very exciting initiative, and that is to develop and shape competitiveness conversations across the country that our members from universities, labs, and industry and labor will shape and co-chair. I want to thank the Council team for their leadership in all the work we do, our Executive Vice President, Chad Evans, our Senior Advisor, Bill Bates, our new Vice President, Mike Nelson, our Membership Director, Marcy Jones, and others. And now it is my great pleasure and honor to introduce the Chair of the Council, Brian Moynihan, Chair and CEO of Bank of America. Brian, thank you for your commitment and support to the Council.
Thanks, Deborah, and thank all of you for joining us here today for some exciting work. I want to second Deborah's thanks to Chad, Bill, and the team for helping us put all this on and all the hard work that goes into it to bring us all together. So a couple opening thoughts. Deborah said I'd talk a little about the economy, but it's our team that works on this is basically has the U.S. in a soft landing position, and you've seen that become pretty clear. And around the world, the economy is growing a little less than 3% predicted for next year. Both of those are slowdowns in the economy. But what makes the team convinced that it's a soft landing is there's still a lot of stimulus going into the economy ahead of us. The Infrastructure Act, the CHIPS Act, the IRA Act. Now, what links that to this is all those things are about spending money for innovation and growth in the United States and positioning us. So we have lots of money coming at all different segments that we represent here today. A lot of it is dedicated to making the U.S. more competitive, for example, on the IRA Act or the CHIPS Act for sure. It requires innovation to make it all happen. And guess what? This is what we do here at the Council of Competitiveness. Our job is to bring together the unique set of people we do, business, labor, universities, national labs, government, together to try to solve these big challenges and figure out that innovation link from pure science to application of science to commercialization of science, and then doing it in place-based innovation and all the ways we do it. So that is American innovation, capitalism, and government support at work to help solve big problems. So every one of us has a different role, but a combined partnership role to drive this activity. We're going to have a series of conversations today that will outline the initiatives of the Council on Competitiveness, that will outline the work going on. And we welcome your participation, but also your questions and suggestions for the future work of the Council. Let me give you an example of this at work. I recently attended COP28. I go there as a representative of Bank of America. We do a lot of sustainable finance, $300 billion in the last couple of years, for example. I also go as a representative of the Sustainable Markets Initiative, a group of 150 or 250 CEOs, 150 of which were there around the world, running global companies, are working together to see if we can speed up the process of innovation towards just transition. But the session this year was, again, different. Last year at this time, I met with Dr. Sultan Al-Jaber, who became the COP president, and I met with him in Sharm el-Sheikh, and I said the key to making COP successful is to keep getting the additional parts of the equation to the table to help make the change happen. That was the private sector. That is the universities and scientific innovation from the national labs. And out of that came an idea that resulted in the Council on Competitiveness and the Global Federation of Competitive Councils hosting an innovation arena at COP28. And so we were able to get together and support this being incorporated. So COP28 not only had the private sector represented with 1,000 companies and philanthropists there for a forum that I helped chair, it also had the Council on Competitiveness there with representatives that I talked to last night, a few of you, from the pure scientific research of the Livermore Lab through to the commercialization of research on fusion and how we could bring it to bear. So that's an important type of work, an example of how we can work together to drive more innovation, more capability around the world. It pays off the strengths of this council in the work it's been doing for many years. So when you think about that science, that innovation, that commercialization, application to solve these challenges, that's America at work. That's America being competitive, and that's America leading the way for the world to solve that challenge of the just transition, which is one of the biggest challenges we face. There are many other challenges in medicine and other things that are going on too, but that's chosen an example of how we can work together and also how we can show the world we're working together. Thank you, and enjoy your day.